Aloha! I'm Danny, your second chance Ohana tool girl. And today I'm going to be teaching you the easiest way I know how to drill hardware holes for cabinets, drawers, anything like that. I like using my favorite tool. This is by King & Charles. It even comes with its handy little travel bag. I rarely take mine apart though, so I always leave it assembled because I'm always doing my projects here. So when you look at it, there's a few parts that make it really handy. So for this drawer, I have it set up already where there is a stopper on the side, a stopper on the top. So every drawer I do, the holes are going to end up in the exact same place. Do always make sure if you're doing drawers, you're always going from the top side. If I go from the bottom, I did not make this perfectly center. So if I go here, it might be a little bit higher, a little bit lower, my holes. So always go from the top down. So your jig also comes with this great little punch, which is nice because this is just going to give a nice pointy area for your drill to stay centered. So I'm going to make sure I'm holding this perfectly in place. We're going to do a little punch. Same thing over here. Punch. All right, so now I've got my perfect guides. And I'm just going to drill right through. So you're going to grab your drill bit. Make sure you're holding this in place and go ahead and drill your hole. I also like having this because it protects when I'm doing those holes, because I've done this before just against it and it leaves a little ring once it goes all the way through. So it's a nice little protection. All right, we're gonna do the second hole. And there you have it, 2 fresh holes for our handle. And we've got it perfectly lined up. I'm gonna add its screws. This is an antique piece of hardware, not antique, but very vintage. So it looks like I might actually have to make the holes a little bit bigger so that the backs of this handle go in deeper. So I'm gonna add another drill bit so this can sit flush in there. But there you have it, it fits perfect. But for demonstration purposes, I'll just stick through one of these screws so you can see, or a couple rather. So the great part about this jig is you can set the distance as far as you need to for your exact piece of hardware. So obviously I had taken the time to match what I was doing, or if you're just doing a single knob, you're gonna do the one right in the center. So let's take a look at the cabinet door. So this just has primer on it right now. We're not quite ready to add it, but you can see we've got the hinges on the back. So we're gonna be adding a knob right up here. So it's really easy to adjust this so that I can do it in the exact same place every time. So obviously this stopper is in the wrong place compared to this stopper. So I'm gonna take this off, move it to the other end. And in case you use centimeters, this does also have, there we go, centimeters on the back of the ruler as well. All right, so now we've got a top. We're gonna squeeze this baby on down. Okay, we're gonna pretend we want it right there, so we're just gonna tighten it. And we have 4 doors for this set of cabinetry to do, which is pretty easy, but this is gonna ensure, that we get it in the exact same spot on all 4 doors. So I would do the exact same method where I do the punch and then drill right through to add my hardware. So we'll of course be doing that once we've decided on where we want our hardware, what hardware we're deciding on, and all those good things. So hopefully this was helpful for you today. See that any kind of cabinet hardware jig, especially the King & Charles one, is a fantastic option. This is the least expensive version they have. They have much higher end ones as well if you need it to be much longer for the work that you do. And this one is the tiniest bit flimsy. It's fine for what I need it for, but if you're drilling holes every single day, definitely splurge on the bigger one. Well, I hope you learned something new today about drilling holes for cabinet hardware. And if you want to get your hands on one of these, we've got a link in the description below. And we will see you next week with a new tutorial. Aloha!